Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're reviewing one of my favorite cars, the BMW E39 M5. Hey guys, it's Glenn from Glenn's Car Collection, and today we're driving a 2001 BMW E39 M5, and what's special about this M5 is it is supercharged. So the stock M5 is a 4.9 liter V8, which is also found in the BMW Z8. It's got 394 horses and roughly 369 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I actually shot this video a couple of months ago. We had a warm weather day in February, came down here to Chris's house to drive and shoot this video, and unfortunately we had camera failure and the sound didn't come out. So now I have a better camera. Chris had offered his E60 M5 also, so I had to come back anyway. So now we get to do it over again. And the great news for me is I get to drive this awesome car twice. Chris also owns the S54 M Roadster, if you've seen that video. And this car is just amazing with the supercharger. Now, what type of supercharger is it?
It's an RK Auto Works.
Okay, and that and you installed it yourself, right?
Correct.
All right, so you're handier than me, I'd be ready to tackle that job. So, what do you think it's putting down on the road now?
I think the kid said 550.
Wow.
It's definitely faster than the E60.
Yeah.
So I assume it's probably that. Around there.
We'll do an E60 M5 video next, and your E60 is pretty much stock, but this car really pulls. I mean, I've only experienced 5,000 RPM so far, and I guess the engine's still warming up because we're at about 6,500, 7,000, and this car just pulls like a freight train. At 5,000, it felt like it was going to take off to the moon. And the great thing about E39 M5s is they're all stick shifts, they're all 6-speed manuals. Now, when this car came out back in 2000, that's the blow-off valve noise you're hearing. This was the most powerful four-door car in the world. 400 horsepower, 4 doors. Now, I drove actually, back in 2000 when I was young, I drove worked for a delivery company that delivered press cars. So I actually drove the first E39 M5 in the country. Nice. Yeah, and I remember you know, those press cars are always loaded up, so I think the sticker price was about 72 base price. If that sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds about
and
right.
Maybe high 70s or pushing 80,000. And I grew up on American cars like Mustang GTs and Z28s. I think we go this way, right?
Yeah.
And that was my first German car I ever drove, and all the German cars I have now is as a result of driving that E39 M5. Yeah, I couldn't, you know, at a $7 an hour job, I couldn't afford one. So when I did the next best thing, I got a used 3 Series. I got like a 328i sedan with the sport package, and that's only a 5-speed. And that was my first German car. And the first thing I couldn't believe compared to, say, an American car was how stable it was at high speeds, like going on the highway, where, like, you know, my Mustang GT would be all over the road, and you hit a bump in a corner and you'd be off in the weeds. You know, these cars were so composed, you know, from the Autobahn, I guess, how stable they were. Now, since I drove this car last, I've been perusing the classifieds trying to find an E39 M5, but I think I'm going to have to probably review a stock one because this has spoiled me. You know,
you should buy one and then we'll supercharge it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do. And what did this? That's a great question. Now, what did the supercharger cost?
It was $5,200, I want to say.
Okay, and so if you can install it yourself, that's a steal.
Right.
So if you had somebody install it, it'd probably be another couple $1,000.
Yeah, it was probably about 8 to 10 hours, if I had to guess.
Wow. And what would a shop cost? $100 an hour, $200 an hour?
Yes, probably $100 an hour.
Yeah.
fairly built-in, so there wasn't too many.
And it's been reliable because you have over 100,000 miles now. And how many miles did you?
I put it in at 95.
Okay. And you have 101, I think we just checked.
Yeah. So
all right, so
6,000 miles on it.
Yeah, so no problems, right?
It ate the stock clutch.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, no issues yet.
Right.
On wood.
So what do you think the torque? If the horsepower is 550 and it feels every bit of 550?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be.
It's got to be near.
Yeah, because if it's 369, it's got to be close to 500.
That's
right?
what I'm thinking.
High fours.
Yeah, high fours fine.
I mean, it certainly feels it.
Tires spinning first.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I hit 5,000 RPM and this thing was like a rocket. Like, it's almost like you don't need to go above that at all. Now this car is a real sleeper. Like nobody knows that this car is supercharged and how much.
Although I mean, I don't know. It does attract attention still. Either.
Yeah, it's just a classic car. Like when I see one, whoa, holy shit! Wow! Oh my god! Now I think the stock 0 to 60 time, I looked up some of my old car magazines, like 4.8 seconds to 60, and wow, that's probably got to be closer to four flat, I think.
Yeah.
Holy crap, is that fast?
It felt like you were spinning through that.
Yeah, I did. From first to second, there was definitely wheel spin. Wow. And this is a corner carver too, so you have suspension on it.
Correct.
You have a Bilstein coilover suspension, right?
PSS6, I want to say.
Okay, so it's not adjustable, right?
Right.
I mean, it's stiffer. I'd probably have to drive a stock one to notice the difference, but it's like sports car stiff.
Yeah,
it's not, you know, if you were driving in a Corvette or a 911, it's probably equal to that. Yeah. Wow.
This is pretty much my daily driver.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is really the ultimate daily driver if you can get away with rear drive. You can take your whole family with you or adult friends. You can easily fit 5 people, right? You can fit 3 in the back seat. I think this is just the classic shape for the 5 Series, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, this shape is aged well. It'll never get old.
No, it looks good. It still looks aggressive, I think, too.
Yeah, with that front air dam and everything, and the wheels. You have the stock wheels on here, which is rare.
Yeah.
M5, you never find them for sale with stock wheels. And here in the United States, they made these cars from 2000 to 2003. So the ones I drove were the press cars back in 2000, and those ate oil. I remember we had to carry like a quart of oil wherever we went. Like every couple hundred miles, we had to put oil in them. And I think they solved that problem in 01, right? I think they made some adjustments.
I've read a lot of people burn oil. I hardly burn any. I mean, 3,000 miles so far, and I haven't added oil at all.
Really? Wow.
Since the last oil change.
I even think my E39 M3, I think when I first got the car, I guess maybe we'll go down this. I think I had to add maybe a quart of oil every 1,000 miles or so, but I think after like 5,000 miles that went away.
Yeah, I think once the oil hits, it also depends on the age of the oil too. I think around like, if you do the extended interval, it starts heating it quick.
Got it. Wow, even now this is a stock shifter, right? A lot of people go with a shorter shifter.
No, it is. It's the stock E60. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
528 is there? I think it's the 528 or 535.
Oh, okay, because that's a common mod. I think people do.
The other one is really big, but this is.
Yeah, it's almost like churning butter. That one, if I remember correctly, right? I didn't want to even go full throttle until the wheels were pointed straight.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow, the power and the torque is unbelievable. And on a hot day, you know, no heat soak, anything like that?
I haven't had it through the summer yet.
Okay.
But so far, no. I mean, we've hit a couple of 60, 70 degree days and being on it, nothing. Though I've read that it does happen. So I have a water injection system ready.
Oh, okay. Now this, you said the brakes are stock except for stainless steel brake lines, right? Yeah.
Which is because they needed upgrading and they were cheaper than the stock.
Right. Wow, this will spoil you. I mean, I can see why this is your daily driver. I want to drive this car every day also.
No one likes it either. My wife doesn't like it.
No?
So
Why, just because it's too stiff?
It's too stiff.
Yeah.
Too,
And probably you're
too
getting
crazy
on
with
it. Yeah. And you drive this car, you got to ring it out. Now you take it, it must be a great, I mean, it's a great backroad car with the suspension.
It is.
But I'm sure it's a good highway car too, because you just have so much power, right? You go on the parkway or with this.
It's fun merging on the parkway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so much power that we had wheel spin there between first and second gear. And the suspension is stiffer, so you'll see with the camera it's a little bumpy, but I mean, I think it's a worthwhile trade-off, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a Lotus Exige, that's stiff, so no car feels bad to me.
It must have been like a go-kart.
Yeah. Now, anything with alignment, like a more aggressive camber or anything?
No, the camber, well, the front camber is not adjustable on this.
Oh, okay.
But it's stock alignment all around.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, the handling is phenomenal. You see how much, ahead of this time this car really was, right? Like, this was the ultimate, like an E55, I guess, was a competitor. The Jaguar XJR, I think, was a competitor. But, as far as being a driver's car,
this was it.
Yeah, because those two cars didn't have the handling. They had the horsepower, but they were, they were really highway cars.
Yeah, I think this pretty much set the segment for the market up for it.
Right. We'll go over the bridge on the right here. Yeah, I mean, the handling is so tight. I mean, if you told me this car had 50,000 miles on it, I believe it. That's how, good it is. And you have the hydraulic steering, so the steering feels great. That's certainly missing, in a modern car.
And it's recirculating ball instead of regular.
Right, yeah, I read that, right? And I think for the M5, it was shorter.
You're going to go straight. So
okay. It was shorter steering ratio. And
right.
You know what we didn't do is hit the sport button. Sport button is just throttle response and I think tighter steering, right? Yeah. I remember for my E46 M3, I liked the sport button because it was just, it was like easier to heel toe. This guy's right in the middle of the highway for some reason. Yeah. And it just hung the revs up there a little more.
Right.
So like the throttle, I used to autocross my E46 and the throttle was a little twitchy for that, same on the E90. But like, say roads like this, downshifting, it was a little easier because the revs would hang a little bit. All right, let's do some turns with the M5. Wow. But this is really a complete car, let me tell you, because you have all the power for the highway. We've been on open roads, now we're on these back roads, and this car is just, wow, it handles, can't believe how good it handles. And this is a 4,000 pound car. Wow, look at this. Oops.
That might be real.
Yeah, probably, right? Doesn't even look like the guy's wearing a helmet. Wow, look at that. It's a very neutral car. Usually, a front mounted V8 is going to cause understeer, but here with the suspension.
Yeah, some people stiffen up the rear, I think, sway bars a little bit.
Okay. To make the, so the rear would brake first. Whatever side you stiffen up, I remember from autocross and the track, brakes up first. Well, there's a couple.
I don't mind a little plowing. So.
Yeah.
I also think that sometimes the new blind spot monitoring sets it off.
Oh, the radar?
So
yeah. Oh, okay. Yep.
That's why I think I want to ditch it. I'm trying to buy V1.
Yeah, I have the blind spot monitoring in my GLA 45, and it always tells me not to switch lanes because I switch lanes a lot. It's always like, no, don't do it, don't do it. It's like having a nanny there with you. It's so conservative, this setting. Maybe there's a way you can adjust it, but wow, I mean, this is, I can't get over how good this car is. Now we have a real tight turn here. We can trail brake, get back on the gas. Wow, holy crap. Now, what do you like better, this or the E60 M5?
It depends on what I'm doing.
Okay.
If I'm going for a long trip, the E60.
Yep. Okay.
But for around town or fun,
this car, right? This is definitely the more visceral experience. The downside with these cars, and this is the same road we did with the M Roadster, is you got to stretch his legs somewhere. There's a cop. You got to stretch his legs somewhere, and there's always somebody in front of you going 10 miles an hour.
You got to do it at night.
Right. Wow. I mean, this car is so composed. Like, you can't believe this is 2001. Like,
no.
How good is this? How good was 2000? The early 2000s as far as for visceral handling cars.
And they said it was pretty stiff, the chassis, the E39 chassis.
Well, I guess when they come out, it did. Again, the competitors, the E55 AMG, the Jaguar XJR, they were softy, floaty. Those cars were all engine. Where this BMW, I think, always makes the best sports suspension because their standard sports suspension isn't too stiff. No. Most people, even like my AMG, it's like so stiff, the sports suspension, and you go any other manufacturer, the sports suspension is like rock hard. BMW has the perfect compromise where a non-car enthusiast probably wouldn't even notice. No. It's stiffer, and you have like zero body roll, very little body roll.
Yeah, the stock suspension was set up pretty nicely.
Right.
The shocks were blown, so that's why, or the struts were blown. That's why I converted. But for the most part, it was a great suspension.
Yeah. Now I have PSS 9 in my 993 Turbo, and it's great. It's really not stiff at all, I would even say, because those cars stock are like wallowy. They're very light, especially as they get up in miles. Like any car would be. Well, I had fun driving your car twice, Chris, so in a way I'm glad the camera failed the first time, so I got to drive it again. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a classic. This car will only rise in value. I would get one now. I mean, obviously, these cars are driven. That's how you know they're such a good car, right? So there's not too many garage queens with 5,000 miles.
No.
All these cars have 100,000 miles, and they do for a reason, because they're so good to drive.
And they're fairly reliable too.
Yeah. You could drive this car across country, you won't break down. I mean, you have to probably stay on top of the maintenance.
Yeah, like any car.
Right, like any car.
Of this age.
Or any 15-year-old BMW.
Right.
But, I mean, you can't go wrong with an E39 M5. There's nobody that buys these cars and go, oh, well, it's not what I thought it was. I want to sell it for a faster car. I mean, people don't even want to sell these cars. It's very hard to find one. And a lot of people have had multiple ones where they've sold it and then missed the car and bought it back. But, if you're looking for a car that you can drive all the time and will certainly hold its value and appreciate the value over time, this is definitely the car. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to leave a positive comment below. Make sure to share with your friends, and most of all, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Thank you for watching that video all the way through. Please subscribe. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave a positive comment below, and share this video with your friends. All 4 of those allow us to rise in the rankings and allows me to keep making videos. Thanks for your continued support, and we'll see you next time.